Hello, my name is Frédéric Samvora and I'm here to present to you Ekival, which is a decentralized application on the Cardano blockchain seeking its first funding through Catalyst, and it's for Fund 9. And here we're going to overview what Ekival is, and also I'll be able to show you a demo of this application on the testnet. So why Ekival? Ekival is used for reducing the cost of money transfer, and we know on average there's an 8% fee charged by traditional money transfer services, and in the case of Sub-Saharan Africa that percentage can go up to 15%, and this is true for anybody. Even Catalyst funded projects that receive ADA will rely on money transfer and they will incur that cost. So that is in addition to the conversion rates that is charged whenever you convert one currency to the other. So the 8% may be higher when you are sending money into different currencies. And the study found that on average people send $2,855 globally, and they incur an average of $228, which is money which would have been given to the beneficiaries if the fees were lower. So the intermediaries do not also always send the money. They sometimes just settle given a period, and so the senders and the receivers may pay for the same transactions, while the intermediaries may basically only settle for the little balance, which is much lower than the combined value sent. The solution is that Ekival is a value transfer application. It implements a peer-to-peer transfer service, and we are leveraging the power of the blockchain to offer speedy and secure transactions. Cardano offers these benefits, and also we have through the smart contract a means of settling the transactions in an automated manner, because we implement, of course, the smart contract, which is an escrow based smart contract. And this is an overview of what Ekival looks like for the user. I'll show you how the flow works. It's basically connecting a wallet, providing information about the person handing out the liquidity, the cash, and then you input the information about the beneficiary and the person who is handing out the cash. The Ekival smart contract flow is basically about two users, one who deposits an amount to start the smart contract. The second one will deposit the full value to confirm that they are going to consume that liquidity. And if they're using mobile money as a means of exchange, then the mobile money API will validate the transaction based on those two numbers, and the message we give them as a confirmation message to send in the transaction. That message will be validated by the backend, which will sign the transaction and send value V to user 1 and minus the fees by Ekival. Ekival is different from other means of digital payments, given that it is first a P2P, which doesn't rely on intermediaries, and also unlike other digital payments method, we rely on blockchain from end to end. Other applications are mostly centralized, so they rely on other means of settlements, and the blockchain is mostly used for accounting purposes. Escrow services allows providers of liquidity and consumers of liquidity to know that they're both trustworthy, given that the consumer, for example, have already deposited the full amount anyway, so they kind of know they can go ahead with the transaction. And unlike other digital payment services, Ekival can implement a marketplace where you can basically even exchange goods and services, and through an API you can offer the same service to buyers and sellers. With this case is mobile transfer, but any value can be exchanged in terms of goods and services. The generating revenues is mainly about the fees, lower fees, but still with a minimum wallets of 1% and the ceiling of 8% to be competitive, given that 8% is the average fee charged in money transfer. And the escrow service can also generate additional revenue through the dispute management system. The target market is the diaspora in, for example, Canada in this case, and the US, and also the DRC. That's where we're implementing it, mostly Goma and Kinshasa in the two cities first in DRC. And the peer-to-peer is based also on referrals, so we expect to do mostly marketing through word of mouth and also going to community events to make people aware about this money transfer solution, which should be more affordable. And the competitive advantage again is that the fees are low, the speed is increased, and also given that we're offering a smart contract, is that the provider and the consumer of liquidities are both guaranteed that the completion of the transaction will be successful. In terms of roadmap, we are in June 2022 and we are at the level of testnet. Ways I'll show you is the beta, when including a few wallets already, and by August 2022 we expect to have gone through Fund 9 cycle for the proposal, and currently Ekival has not gotten any funding to reach this stage from Catalyst, and the funding we are seeking is mostly for auditing and also translation from French to English using one button to translate these two languages, but mostly is for us also to implement the mobile framework of the same application, of this decentralized application, given that users in Africa will not have a desktop and a NAMI extension. Most of them will be relying on their mobile phones to use blockchain application. So the two main goals of this funding request is auditing the smart contract for security of users and prepare it for mainnet, and also mobile conversions of this application. September 2022 we'll have a beta on mainnet. Regardless, we'll have beta for the first paying customers who are in the diaspora in Canada, and we have two locations for liquidity provision in Goma and in Kinshasa, and this is in December 2022. Should we get funded, this timeline will be met. We'll have the mobile application ready of the decentralized application for users in Africa, and also we'll have an API for other applications that would like to look at the liquidity available in Africa and help users send and receive money in this case. And the API is handy, given that it's a decentralized application. You may use the API to basically implement this solution on your own application as well, using this smart contract. Ekival will also issue a token for 4 reasons. First of all, money transfer is a recurring need, so whenever you use it you get more tokens and your deposit requirements may be lower. The fees you pay may be also lower. The second benefit of a token is that it allows referrals to have a means of being attractive. You can refer more users and get tokens as rewards. The token also is good for the development of Ekival. We are implementing money transfer today, but there are many ways to implement P2P solutions, even business to business solutions, B2B in this case. And the token is also useful for other applications, such as allowing community members to decide whether we should implement more currencies, target more locations, and offer other services. And this token allocation will be done through an ISPO with the Goma Stake Pool, but other stake pools as well that we are going to call to participate. This is the first part of the presentation, which is an overview of what Ekival is. Now I'm going to show you how Ekival looks like. We have Ekival as a preview online already, like we have Ekival.com. If you go to Ekival.com, you'll be able to come to this preview by clicking on this button. Try it now, or in my case I'm going to use the local version I have, which is the one I've been running. So as I said, we already have a few wallets that are implemented. In this case I have NAMI. Using NAMI I can start a new order, which is basically me confirming that I have liquidity to hand out. In this case I'm going to offer 1,000 US dollars, and a minimum will be 100 because I do not want people to come and receive small amounts, and the validity, let's say 5 days for me to have this cash ready to be handed out. And I'm handing it out from Goma in the DRC, and in this case it's cash, but we have mobile coming up. And in the case I have a supermarket handing out cash, so I'm going to say it's accountant who's going to hand out the cash, and his email is accounting themselves. And in the Congo we have not digits, but we have also other countries coming up. We have Rwanda, which is also able to provide liquidity, and France are liquidity providers. In the Congo, in this case, we have 9 digits, which is the way the cell phone numbers appear in DRC, and more countries will be added to the list. So once I provided this person's information, if it's mobile, the mobile number will be logged and we'll track this number. If it's cash, then the people who are committing the funds, who are committing to consume the liquidity, will have their contact details and they'll be able to reach out. In this case, I'm sending out the 156 ADA, which is 10% of the total amount. I'm sending the transaction. The validation happens. The transaction has been logged to Ekival, and you get a confirmation hash in this case. So you do have this as a requirement to send. When you are sending mobile money, you have to include this transaction as a confirmation method. Once you have logged such an offer, it's going to appear in the offer book, which will allow users to basically commit. They will do the same as you have done, but in this case they'll just tell you who is the beneficiary and how much they are committing to and depositing the money they are committing to. There are search functions here, like transaction ID if you are the one who logged the funds, location, in this case it was Goma, and the type, in my case it was still cash. I can also go and look in my orders. The 2 previous funds I had logged into the smart contract, but this one is still being locked by the smart contract. So I'll go and NAMI and check whether the transaction is indeed occurring. Not yet, so we are waiting for it to be logged, and it's going to appear both in the front end and the blockchain. This front end pulls data from the blockchain, so basically now it's the backend confirming that it's being logged. But once it has been logged on the smart contract, it's going to be pulling the data from the smart contract and not from our backend. So just now it has been sent. So when I do a refresh, it's going now to be able to reconnect my wallet, which was disconnected, and then my orders now will be coming up as the backend synchronizes with the blockchain. So now we see it has been synchronized. We have the Goma transaction which has been locked, and we know it's those 2 previous transactions, and indeed the 5 days deadline is set, and the location is indeed Goma. So let's say, for example, now I'm at an emergency and I would like to cancel my commitment to provide 1,000 in Goma, given that, for example, my accountant lost some cash, or maybe they had an emergency at the store, they had to hand out the cash for other means, so I have to cancel. I cannot commit to paying the 1,000 anymore, so I can cancel this transaction and let people know that this transaction is no longer available. So I have to cancel this transaction and take back my commitment. In this case, it's signing up again in NAMI and confirming that this transaction has been cancelled, so I'm no longer tied to providing the 1,000 in Goma. and this offer will not be available in the offer list, and people won't be able to basically consume that 1000. And from Miami we should see the funds coming back. So they just came back just now, so we had sent them 3 minutes ago, and then they are right back. And that is basically the cycle of Ekival, and it's going to be very handy in terms of people adopting Cardano and blockchain and crypto in general in Africa, given that there are not many use cases of fiat to crypto conversions, and money transfer is one of those cases. So thank you very much. I'll put links to our Discords in the description, and other useful means of information about Ekival in the description of this video, and we count on your support. Thank you very much. Bye.